Hi, welcome back to channel TrainStation 2. I got first in the Peru second competition, and this strong competitor pushed me to 1628 EPs, where it's really good. Oh, sweet victory. And we got 700 coins secure. We need another first in the third competition in order to get a legendary trade. Alright, now let's enter into the gameplay. Alright, so you can see here is prior to the end of the second competitions, and we are fighting against a really tough competitor, and this competitor is not new to me. It's none other than the ones that beat me in the mini event. So I still got a day and 7 hours to go. So noting that this is really a strong competitor and it's proven to be, so I decided to engage an additional dispatcher for sure. So throughout the duration of the event, I have it covered with an additional dispatcher. I spent about 50 gems, so because of 25 times 2, that's what I've incurred for this second competition. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to beat this very tough competitor. Alright, so of course along the way you gotta really plan well in terms of your items. You must not wait for the items to be manufactured when your trains are in the depot. So what you must do is that you must always ensure that when your trains are back, they are goods for delivery. So in the midst of it, normally what I try to do is sometimes I use a 4-4 technique. So what does a 4-4 technique encompass? 4 trains will be out delivering, and the other 4 trains will try to get the factory items produced, so that when there's sufficient items or raw materials in the factory, then I'll send the remaining 4 trains out for dispatch. So I call this the 4-4 technique, alright? So because I have 8 dispatcher as my disposal, given the fact that I have a permanent of 7 dispatcher, and once I engage the additional using 25 gems, I will have 8 dispatchers round the clock trying to use this 4-4 technique. Otherwise, I'll try to use a 4-3 technique, which is basically 4 trains for dispatch and then 3 trains to pick up raw materials and put them into the factory, and sometimes pick up gold coins along the way, so that you can increase the capacity of your current fleet. Alright, so with this technique, you can see that it's a good split. Every time it's 4 trains back, and then the 4 trains are different timing as well, so there's a good split in terms of timing. And of course, once you have hit the brim, i.e. your warehouse can take it no more, then I'll send all the 8 trains out for dispatch, because otherwise you have trains stuck at the depot because you can't unload those complete so-called the raw materials for completion. Given the fact sometimes it may require more time to manufacture certain items. So along the way, do remember to click on those whistles, because that may give you event keys, although it's one at a time, but it definitely adds up. So you can see here we do more or less having one reaching 14 out of 30, so that's midway of the job's completion. This one is okay, this is 7 out of 30. So this is where you can see the hour, 1 hour 0 minutes below there, there's a 7/30. So these are the things you should watch out for. What are these? These are talking about in terms of completion of that particular customer. So once you hit 30/30, that will be the last one. Once you complete that, subsequent you will be 1/30 again, but that 1/30 job will be terrible, because it will be very difficult because of huge quantity they ask for and a miserable EPs given to you as a prize. Alright, so that is not something that we envisage will come so soon, given the fact that this is just the second competition. I believe there are 7 in total, so we got 5 more to go if everything goes according to plan, which means that it's 3 days, 2 days competition kind of arrangement. So you can see here, currently we're left with a day. So this is a long competition because it's a 3-day event. The next one will be short, so the coming short competition will be a 2 days event. So you gotta bear in mind this, and then if you could at least 12 hours late. Alright, so I'm as I said, being late is just one of the key component of winning, getting first. Because once you enter in the competitions, sometimes, like me in this scenario, who knows? So you have a strong competitor paired together in the whole group. You realize it really soon, because if you are leading, also calling the top 5, eventually you will see someone really strong in it, and they will be leading the pack. So when that happens, you got to be particularly careful, because if you're really working on the same strategy that I am doing right now, which means that we're going to secure 3 first to get 1050 event coins to exchange for that legendary train, then you're going to bear this in mind. Okay, so I'm hoping that you have obtained, also called secured, 700 event coins so far if you're following me. So this is something that I really wish to share with you. I'm not hiding anything in terms of secret. It is exactly what I've been doing. I've been showing it on screen. As and when, if possible, get your factories working round the clock, i.e. like I said, using the 4-4 technique. Have your 4 trains outsourcing for raw materials, pack them to the factory, get them produced, and once you hit almost to the brim of the warehouse, then you can send the remaining 4 trains out. Alright, so that will actually give you a staggering of the 4x4 trains in different timing. Otherwise, you may have 8 trains all coming at the same time, and you may be wasting a bit of resources. So that's the better so-called balance strategy that I've deployed. Okay, so here now, within the day, we've got 21 hours left. I'm leaving about 200 odd to 300 EPs at a time, because I'm watching that, because I want to maintain that huge gap there, knowing the fact that assuming the competitor will have 3 jobs, 3 jobs will equate to roughly, I would say roughly 100 EP. So having a 200-300 EP gap, that will equivalent to about roughly 2 to 3 hours. You can see there, closing by again. Now left with 212 EPs. This is something I always watch for. So that means roughly about 2 hours gap. That also means that you got to see how you're going to work out, which means that if you have, less assuming 3 hours gap, then you may want to deploy more of your 8 dispatchers into gathering raw materials, because you can afford the time, the slack of 3 hours gap. But if, let's say, it's getting too close, less than 2 hours gap, i.e. less than 200 EPs, then you may push all your trains out to get it dispatched to create that gap first. So there is a lot of flexibility in terms of deploying, but on average I would say it's a 4-4 strategy. So 4 out, 4 raw materials, and then now we have reached 222 level. The next level to hit will be 230, as I mentioned in my previous video. I need 500 event so-called the gems in order to engage the permanent 8th dispatcher, but as I said, unlikely I will do that, because it's 500 gems. I'll rather wait for 250 level in order to use so far in exchange for the permanent dispatcher. So gems will be put to good use for factory upgrades if you have any. For me, I fully upgraded them. Otherwise, I'll put them for engaging additional dispatchers during competition. There are 2 ways of looking at it. One way is you can engage 100 gems for 7 days period. Alternatively, it's based on an ad hoc pay-per-use model, which means that whether you require it, then you use it, otherwise you don't use it. Coming the 3rd competition, I'll wait and see approach again. Most likely I will use it, even though the competitors is not strong. I will try to create a huge gap to secure the win, because I really need the final win. So far it's 700 event coins, 300 more, which means that I must get first in the 3rd competition in order to exchange for legendary. If I only get 2nd, like you can see here, is 250 coins. I will need to get it another win in the 4th competition to get that legendary train. Alright, so that's the first target, as I mentioned. This we're gonna watch for the map completion. I'm quite surprised. The map completion seems to be quite high, so much faster than I expected. So this is a sign of worrying, because once you hit 100%, I think you'll go haywire. Everything may go nuts in terms of the miserable EP and huge quantities of requirements. So I'm very concerned about that. As you can see, one of the customers are reaching 20 out of 30. So very soon you hit 30 out of 30, and then that is where all the hell breaks loose. When the hell breaks loose, you know what you're looking for. So here we are trying our best again. It's the last moment, but nonetheless I'll try to see what I can do. This is about less than an hour and we have a huge gap there, so I think I'm quite happy to secure this second win. And of course I wish you good luck in this coming third competition. Alright, coming to the close of the competition soon. Alright, secure another first. I'll still prefer my Santa Claus profile because it's giving me luck. Alright, again, wish you good luck in the third competition and I hope to show you the legendary train soon. Goodbye.